Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you had a good holiday. Up and at it again. I'm just going to go over some carry options with you on the XTS series radios and the XTS, well, the 3000 and 5000 series in particular. I do have my I've got one VHF that's out. It's on its way back, or it's going to be on its way back. But it's getting converted to a Model 3, and that'll be really nice. It's the one you saw in one of the last videos that I did, so that'll be a good seller. This, I think, if you saw my holster video, and I do have the rig here, this is just a D-ring swivel, and I mentioned there's pros and cons to these. And there are. This is a heavy-duty swivel. It's OEM Motorola, and it just slides on your battery. You clip it down. There is a company that actually makes, and props to them. They came up with, I believe it's a polymer version of this. Very good video, very good presentation, and really for the money, I don't think it's bad. I do prefer steel over polymer any day, because steel will not break, but at the same time it's a very good value for what they're offering. So you can if you want to go with a different system that's made from polymer, I don't prefer it, but some people might. I prefer steel, because steel will not crack in the cold and the heat and extreme environments. And this is made by Motorola, but that was a very good idea that those folks came up with. I don't know if you've had a chance to check out the videos on YouTube, but there's a real good presentation of that. Let's see here. Comes with a belt clip, and I trashed one of them. I had a brand new one, and I cut that out because I needed it for a just the standard case here, but it doesn't fit, and so I pretty much trashed that one, and that was kind of a drag, but at the same time I might be able to save it. But this it's just it's a different variation on the D-ring. So you don't think, if you're going to buy one of these D-rings, don't think that your old case is going to work on it, because it won't. And I'll show you why. On the up and down, there's no engagement on it. Yeah, it will hold it this way, but as soon as you sit down, it's going to push it up. The reason it'll do that, and I mean, looking at them, and actually they've got the same model numbers, but looking at them, you can see a difference, a considerable difference in the size of the D. So don't think that when you get these you can just slide it on your old case, belt case, because that's what's going to happen. You could probably make a stop in there, but what Motorola did was they just bent over a piece of steel to make a stop, and then that way it's not going to come up. It's going to be locked in there, as you can see. This is good. I mean, I've seen these before. I got a good deal on this. I just wanted to check it out, and I do like the fact that you can just take your radio and slide it in and use it. but at the same time, you're subjecting your radio to a lot of abuse. If you walk out the door with an XTS5000 or 3000 or any unit with a with an LCD screen, chances are by the time you get in and out of the car 1 or 2 times, you're going to have scratches on your screen. You're going to ding up your housing, and if you want to really want to protect your radio, the best thing to do would be the iPod. They make those screen protectors. You can always get a screen protector, cut it to the length of cut it to the width of this, and just apply it, and it'll protect your screen. That is probably the best solution to keep scratches off your screen. As you can see, this one, this screen is in very good shape. But, there's a lot of people that are really anal about that, and I'm included in that group. I hate to say it, but I am. It's just one of those things that I like. I like units to look the very best they can. But in the real world, and that's just not possible. When you take these out in the field, you're going to get scratches on them. You're going to get a couple scuffs, and you're going to live with it. If you let it, go to your head and let it bug you 24 hours a day, you need to kind of, rethink your priority on the radio. But take care of your radio and take what steps you can to preserve the radio in as good a condition as you can. If you're in a high traffic environment, if you use these getting in and out of cars, if you're working construction with these, if you're in the military, these are going to get dinged up any way you look at it. But at the same time, you can minimize it, and you can minimize them with a case. There's good cases and there's bad cases. The knockoffs are bad. These are very good. These are just your standard Motorola. They've got the 2 prongs here. You slide your radio in, and I'll show you the con on this. You can see it right there. On an FPP radio, you don't have access to the buttons when you slide it in here. Motorola, in their infinite wisdom, never, and I know I've seen cases touted, carry cases touted as working for XTS5000s on the internet and on different sites. And but if you look at those cases, the bottom keys are going to be what they are is they're XTS5000 type cases. The screen's not tall enough and the keypad's not big enough. I said Boston leather. I don't know what I was thinking in the last video, but what I meant, as you can tell, I'm getting a cold, and this weather has been beating me to death. But as you can tell, this really protects your unit. It's got the double D rings. You can hook a nylon strap to it or a leather strap to it. You've got a very solid, you can't beat this thing to death with a hammer. That's what I mean by steel as opposed to polymer. They build these things so well. There's no alternative. But the idea of a polymer case, and for the price that the folks, I'm not going to say the name because I'm not really touting their product, but I do think it's a very, very innovative idea, and they have something going there. What they basically have is instead of metal, you've got this type, which will last for quite a while, and probably last the life of your radio and even longer. So I'm not saying that, you know, it's going to break, you know, any second, because it's not. But, well, you know, it depends. Depends on the build quality. This is made by, what's it say? This is a directional snap. Okay, well, anybody in their right mind can tell what that says. This is a very good case, and this is made more along the lines of what you would use for a Model 3 or a Model 2 unit. More of a Model 3. They should come out with a Model 2, a limited keypad. Motorola should. It's a shame on them for not doing that. You know, it's just a damn shame that they can't. Yeah, they couldn't get it together enough. You know, in the whole XTS3000 or 3000, 5000 series to actually make, you know, a leather carry case that was truly functional, but they didn't. This is made by, who made this? Leathersmith, and this is a very good case. You can tell that the build quality is not as good. You know, the stitching is good, but you're relying on this, and this is what I don't like. You know, you're looking at you know, which do you think will last longer out of the two? You can see the difference in quality. Not knocking this case at all. But you can see that this is more of a little, this is more of a leathercraft type case. It will get you by, and it will do better than this one will, because if you're using an FPP radio, this does exactly what you need it to do in every respect. So that little carry strap goes right up. These people really had the solution. I don't like this part, but I think that, you know, you would really have to work hard to ding this up too much. It's possible, you know, with plastic it'll break. It does have a belt through, so I mean, if this were to break, you've got a backup to where you can just slide it through your belt loop. But if you do that, you're not going to be able to detach it from your belt. You know, it'll no longer become. And I've had polymer and Kydex break on me. It's not good. I had a cuff case that, you know, that did that, and I had to use the belt. You know, had to slide it through the back of my belt. I hated that. But this is same type of principle. It works the same way, and it's a very good carry option for your 3000 or 5000. You have full access to your keypad. You have full access to your screen, and if you put an iPod screen protector on this, you will, or an iPhone, or, you know, whatever you use, you will really maximize the protection of your unit. These housings aren't cheap. These radios aren't cheap. So, you know, it's silly not to invest in something that will protect it. The D-rings on here are actually a little bit better. So there's pros and cons, but when I see connection points and when I see the main source of use from being, you know, being steel to plastic, I balk at plastic. You know, I'm sorry, I just do. Well, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry because, you know, it does what it needs to do. Also on this, you don't have the option of just sliding this up. You know, it's here and it'll hold onto your belt. With this, it has this channel guide. This one doesn't. So you turn your radio up and you pull it outwards. That's a con. It's not a pro, it's a con. So, you know, there's good and bad with both, but at the same time, you've got one really nice carry case for your 5K. Leathersmith is the company that uses, or that manufactures these. They did a good job. They did the best they could, I think. And I think that that would probably get most people by. But you pull out instead of sliding up. So it's going to be more difficult to get onto your belt and back off. You're going to be, you know, when this is on your duty belt, you're going to be monkeying around with this, you know, trying to find the hole, you know, all that stuff. But, you know, once you get it in there, maximum protection. And you still have room for, you know, any type of speaker mic. So really you don't need to take your radio off of your belt that much. You know, you've got good portability, and with both cases you've got that option. The D-ring is going to leave your radio vulnerable to bumps, to anything you bump up against, to anything you knock up against, just like the belt clips. But at the same time, for somebody who already has a beat up housing and really, you know, is utilitarian in their view of communications, they're not going to worry about cosmetics. They're not going to worry about resale that much. They're going to worry about, you know, will the radio be quick? Will the radio be, you know, easy to use? Will it do the job that I intend it to do? And you know, in all cases, the answer is yes. So, you know, in that case, they might say, well, you know, this is a good solution. I don't have this bulky, you know, this bulky case to deal with. It's a lot cleaner. So, you know, there's pros and cons to it, but at the same time, for the ground pounders, you know, who have duty belts, and really for construction, for anything, anytime you're using a 5K or a 3000, you need to protect your radio. It's just as simple as that. If you don't, you know, there's a lot of people who don't, and they don't really care. But those are the very same people who get very little out of the radios if they ever need to sell them, because the radios are beat to shit and nobody wants them. You know, the more options that you look into to take care of your radios, the better off you'll be. Resale wise, you know, if you want to upgrade, the first thing people are going to do, and one thing I can't figure out is, why in the world is it that on eBay people do not, you know, they'll take time to make a listing, they'll take time to, you know, to take pictures, they'll take time to upload them, they'll take time to go through that process, yet they don't take 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, they don't even take 2 minutes to just wipe off what they're selling. You know, just wipe it off. I've seen dirt and dust on so many items, and it's like, good Lord, you know, it takes less than a minute to do, you know, just to wipe, it takes less than 5 seconds just to dust it off, you know, before you take a picture of it. But, you know, people like that, I don't know what in the hell they're thinking, but baffles me, just completely baffles me. But anyway, those are the carry options that are very good, and I do like the quick carry on this. You know, it's got the sliding up and down, but as soon as this swivels back, it engages. So I've got a new, the number of this is NTN 9213A. Excuse me, I was reading the number off of here. So this very well, I'm sure that this I'm just seeing this for the first time. I'm sure that this number is actually made. The designation, the model number designation is different than this one. So if you want to get one of these, just remember and you do have a swivel attachment from an older radio that does have, if you've got one of these, you think, well, all I need is just that D-ring. No, you actually need the belt, and it's got to be specific to this. So invest your money wisely and do your research before you pull the trigger on one of these. Fortunately, this came with one, but fortunately I had spares. I didn't know that they were spares at the time, but it's kind of a bonus that, hey, they actually, I actually do have a use for these weird critters, because I just didn't know what in the world would possess Motorola to bend that over. But I wasn't thinking that this ring was actually a different size. So I'm going on, and 21 minutes in for a carry video? You gotta be kidding. Well, guys, if you got through this, you're hardcore radio guys, and you put up with my shit. I don't know how in the world you can sit through a video like this. I've tried to sit through my videos. I have a hard time doing it. I can't do it, really. I shoot them and I forget them. Unless I need to go back and see what I've done and use them for reference. But, if you want to get a good case, Leathersmith. I believe that's what they're called, Leathersmith. Yeah. Leathersmith, and the number on this, the model number, is 5190NC345. Very good case. Does have some cons in the fact that this is plastic and it doesn't operate as well as a Motorola case. Build quality is not quite as well, but it's still a very good case, and it will get you by probably as long as you're going to use a radio, unless you're really in an environment where you're really getting a lot of abuse to the connection points on this. And believe me, it happens. One fella, he broke the antenna on his radio, a wideband. It happens, I can't imagine that, but I like to rib them a lot over it. But things happen when you have the radio on and you're outside and you're getting in cars and you're getting out of cars. Stresses happen. Bumps happen, scratches happen, so the best thing you can do is protect it. Anyway, I do have some radios coming in. I'm going to start shooting off those Model 2s that you saw. I'm going to probably put 2 of them up. Those are the brand new in the box ones. Not sure what configuration I'm going to list those with, or what items I'm going to list them with, but those will be up soon. And I've got 3 XTS5000 800 megahertz units with encryption, dual encryption. They're brand new. 2 of them are brand new in the box. Those are on their way. There is a good fellow named Alan, and he is I've been talking to him back and forth, and I'm really impressed with what he's listing on eBay. He's got some very good units on eBay, and he really knows his stuff, and it's good to see that. It's good to see sellers on eBay that that actually can put together good radio packages, and Alan does that. And but yeah. Just be careful and keep in mind that, if you do get one of these D-rings, you're not going to be able to, it's going to slide off your belt as soon as you get into a car, unless you have the proper, ring. So, anyway, for what it's worth, Yeah, I've got some good radios coming in. I've got a lot of radios in stock, mics, chargers, all that. You know, everything's going good, very good, and I'm very pleased with the way things are going. 5000s, people have asked, you know, about 5000s, why, you know, they're getting up in price. Well, availability is getting very limited, and the suppliers are, you know, finally depleting, you know, their stock. So 5000s are going to be a little bit harder to get, and that's why you're seeing less of them. And if you rehouse a 5000, if you reflash a 5000, if you do the work that you need to do to sell, you know, a radio that when it comes out of the box is going to make the customer smile, it's going to come at a price. You know, it comes at a price. And, you know, flashing and firmware and all of that is not cheap by any means. And rehousing, you know, check price, you know, the housings. They're very expensive. But anyway, that's why you need to take care of them. Anyway, that's all the time I want to spend on it. Very good units. But yeah, this is made by Leathersmith. So, you know, if you really, really want one, I think they're good, you know, good cases. This is the only one I've got. And I haven't used it because I really don't use, I don't use the radios as much as I used to. Even my shop radios, I just don't use them that much. These are all VHFs that I use, but at the same time, when I need them, they're there, they work, they're great. And yeah, this is a Leathersmith case. Can't even talk. Leathersmith case. You've got your nice snap on it. So, if you're into that, pick one up. If you're into the D-rings, you know, pick one up and make sure that you get the right connector. So at the risk of repeating myself, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. And you guys, I hope you had a happy holiday, and hope everything's going good for you. Take it easy, guys. Later on.